Hello YouTube world and welcome to my channel. I am Bubba and I want to talk to you about soil sampling and how to do it. Just an easy method that I use in my home garden. So I live in upstate South Carolina. It is beginning of January and it is still cold. It's very chilly. We had temperatures in the 20s last night. It is not time to start my garden, but before I do start my garden, I need to do something very important. So soil sampling is probably the most important thing you can do if you are starting a garden, whether it be raised beds or just a large garden in the yard. So I want to walk you through that. When we bought this house about 6 years ago, the previous owner worked at a carpet factory. So he had carpets in the yard as weed control, and most of the yard was at least 3 carpets deep. So we had a lot of work to do to kind of get it to this point, and since then we have a garden of about 500 square feet, I guess, which is funny because it's like a third of the size of our house. And then we also put in 8 raised beds since then, and different blueberries, fruit trees, different things like that. Our yard garden has always done pretty well, but the soil is starting to get depleted, and it does need a little bit of help this year. The raised beds, most of them are doing well, but there's still a few that are underperforming. One thing that we did that we have since learned from is after we built the raised beds, we just filled them up with like dirt or compost from our local lumber yard or like a big box store, and it just wasn't up to par. So the soil needs to be amended, and this is a great way to do it. Now, we get our soil samples through our local extension office. That's who we send them through. In South Carolina, Clemson University has extensions in almost every county. So what you will do is you will Google your county and extension office. In North Carolina, they have a great extension office system too. I think with soil sampling in North Carolina, they will send your soil off for free if you're an in-state resident. In South Carolina, it's around $4, I believe, but you just take your sample to your local extension office and they send it off, and then in turn you get like a letter, or I get an email within a couple of weeks, and it tells you exactly what you need to do to amend your soil. You want to have a soil pH between 6 and 7. Anything under 5.5 or over 7.5, your fruits and veggies won't perform well. So optimum is 7, but there's a little bit of wiggle room. And you don't want to put like these beautiful plants or great heirloom seeds in your dirt and then your pH isn't right, because that can just break your whole garden. This is a very easy process. You're only going to need a few things. You will need a garden trowel. You will need a Sharpie to write on your Ziploc bags. And if you are doing a large space, you will need a bucket. Now, the reason that you're going to use a bucket for a large space is you're going to want a uniform sample. So what I will do with my large garden is I will take a soil sample from 10 areas. Each sample I will put in my bucket, I will stir it around, and then I will just take one uniform sample and put it in my bag and mark it, and then take that to my extension office. I'm also going to have soil samples from 3 of my raised beds. They did not perform well, so I need to get those amended. I need to get those on the right track. I would love to do all 8 raised beds, but it's just not in the budget for a home gardener. It kind of defeats the purpose to spend more on growing the veggies and the fruits and veggies than I would like going to a market or something. So I'm just trying to do this the best I can with the budget that I have. So without further ado, to get a sample, you just need to move all the organic matter off your bed, whether this is leaves, mulch, compost, rocks. Just move it aside, and then you are just going to take your trowel, and my trowel is pretty cool because it has different measurements. So you want to, in your garden, go down and get your soil sample about 4 to 6 inches down. This is the chunk that you want. Anything above that is not going to be a great sample, and this is because most of your roots are going to go down to that area. So this is where you need your good dirt. So I'm just going to dig that in. I'm going to pull it out at a slant. And then put my hand under it so I don't lose that good dirt. And I'm just going to take the bottom part of this sample and I'm just going to rake it into a bag. I'm going to make sure that that bag is labeled, because in the past I have sent samples off and I have not labeled my bag, and I have not known which raised bed it was for. And then I'm just going to zip it up. I'm going to take this to my local extension office today, and they're going to put it in a fancy little container and mail it off. And in a few weeks I will have my readout and I will know what to add. In some years I've had to add lime, different things that you can just get at your local garden center. It's very cheap, but it's something that you definitely want to do. So Manny, I'm not doing a dog video right now. Yeah, it's doing a garden video. Alright, so that is how you get a soil sample. It's very easy, so well worth your money. And definitely do it at this point in the year, just so you have plenty of time to amend your soil, because even though it's cold right now, it's freezing, it's going to be here before you know it. It's going to be time to plant those seeds. It's going to be time to see green, and you want it to be successful. So this is just a small step. Another note, just make sure that your soil is not too dry, it's not too muddy, you just want it to be damp, and this is the perfect soil. So good luck. I hope this helps. And happy gardening. Be blessed, and thank you for watching.